In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the essential components of a high school resume, starting with the heading. What is a resume, you may ask yourself? Well, it is a 1 to 2 page formal document that lists an applicant's work experience, education, and skills, and it's designed to provide a detailed summary of the applicant's qualifications for a particular job. You will probably have to write many resumes in your lifetime. So we're going to talk about the first section of a resume, which is the heading. And the heading contains the contact information so that the potential employer can reach you. The heading can be text only, or it may include a graphic. And things like spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and professionalism are extremely important because obviously you want to make a good impression on your potential employer. So once you finish your document, you should always have someone proofread it before you turn it in. These are the required elements of a heading. You must have your first and last name. Your first name and last name must be capitalized. They could be bold, they could be a larger font size, they could be a different color. Your name could be a special font, but it must be readable, so don't choose a font that is too fancy. You have to include your street address, also your city, the state, and the zip code. And note that California is abbreviated with a capital C and a capital A. You should include your phone number, including the area code, and also your email address. And be sure that it's a professional email address and not something silly, goofy, or inappropriate. Here are 2 examples of some text-only headings. These are perfectly fine. They're very formal, but they're kind of plain, in my opinion. These next examples are text and graphic. The first one is just a simple circle with your initials inside of it that has a little bit of color, and your first name could also be a coordinating color to the circle, and then plain text for the rest of your contact information. The next one is an example of a graphic, in this case a hummingbird, with a fancy but readable font for the first name, and then the address and other contact information in a plain font down at the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to create in Google Docs this first one, because you don't need any special software to create a graphic like this. You could need professional software to create this type of logo right here. I actually created this in Illustrator. So let's go to our document, high school resume, and I've placed a copy in here so that I can see what this looks like. And the first thing that we're going to do is go to Table and insert a table that has 2 columns and 1 row. Right now we're going to put our graphic on this side and our information on this side, and then eventually we're going to turn this white so that it disappears. This actually has a white table around it, but obviously you can't see it because the paper is also white. So over here on this side, I'm going to put my first and last name, of course making sure that it's capitalized, and my street address, which is not actually my real street address. And you can see I've made a mistake right there. So the name of the street needs to be capitalized, and whether it's a road or an avenue or a street also has to be capitalized. It's really important that you spell everything correctly. This is the first impression that you're making on a person. So after the city comes a comma and then a space, capital C, capital A, space, and then the address. Then the zip code. The next line down is your phone number. Make sure that you include the area code. And of course on the last line is your email address, your appropriate email address. Okay, so first of all, I would like to use a more interesting font than this one. I could, if I don't want a fancy font, I could just make this bold and perhaps make it size 14 instead of size 12. But I want to go for something interesting. So up here in my fonts, I already have quite a few special fonts added to this, but if you want to search through what the fonts look like and make your own choices, down here at the bottom it says more fonts, and you can click this and it opens this box, and you can go through it and look at them one at a time, and when you want to add one you can just click it and then click OK, and it will add it to your list. So the one that I chose is called Caveat Brush. So let's see here, I'll highlight this and go to Caveat Brush, and I did choose a color. I believe it was this one right here, and the size was size 24. So here we go, size 24, and I don't want it bold. Alright, now on this side I'm going to go ahead and make this circle graphic with the text on the inside of it. So I will go to let's see, I need the drawing menu. Insert, drawing, and I will choose the shape tools and grab a circle, and I will click and drag a circle, and then, oh that's nice, I can see it right there. So let me adjust this circle so it's a little bit smaller, and I will change the color to coordinate. I'm going to have it the same color as my font, but I want the circle or the line on the outside, instead of black, I'm going to make it a darker, okay, is that darker? Yeah, a darker version, and I'll make it a little bit thicker, maybe 2 points. So I have a light blue-green circle with a darker blue-green outline. Now on the inside of this, I'm going to keep clicking the inside until I get the text cursor to pop up. Then I will simply put in capital J, capital S, highlight this, and get my Caveat Brush font. And I will try different font sizes until I find the right one. That looks good. Now to make this look like it's a transparent cutout, I'm going to change the color of this to white. And now I will simply click Save and Close, and there's my graphic. Now I can pull this over so it's close to the edge right there, and I do think it's just a little bit too large, so I'm going to shrink it so it's more in scale with the rest of my name. Something like that. Now I don't want this black box around here. It's really distracting. So when I write the rest of my letter, I will do all my typing down here in this section, and this will be the heading part. So what I'm going to do is highlight this whole thing, right click, go to table properties, and I will change the table border to white, and then click OK, and now the viewer that looks at this cannot see that there's a table. And I'll just delete this old table. So let's see, delete table. There we go. And then now here is my new heading up here at the top. I actually think there's a little bit too much of a space between these two, so I'm just going to grab that border and move it a little bit closer. And that's it. So have fun with this. You don't necessarily have to keep this if you don't like it. You could try different shapes or different colors, but I would like you to at least try it just to see if you like it. Add a little bit of pizzazz to your resume, and if you end up not liking it, eventually you can go ahead and delete that from your resume. That's it for this video. Have fun creating your graphic.